Officer Jason Bear as well. So Officer Zachary Rosen and Jason Bear killed my son here in Columbus, June 6th of 2016. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to read my scriptures in full for context. Then one of the criminals hanging there began to yell insults at him. Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us. But the other answered, rebuking him, don't you even fear God, since you are undergoing the same punishment? We are punished justly because we're getting back what we deserve for the things we did. But this man has done nothing wrong. Then he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And he said to him, truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise. My words are, today you will be with me in paradise. The only good thing from today is that he did it for us, that Jesus sacrificed his life for us. I've seen this story many, many times, heard it preached every time about this year, but in reading it this time, something resonated with me that I really hadn't paid much attention to before. And that was the words of the criminal who was on the side of Jesus, being crucified at the same time. We know that an innocent man was crucified, was murdered over 2,000 years ago. And though there's purpose behind that sacrifice, the unfortunate truth is we are still seeing men and women and children being murdered. Public lynchings are still continuing to this day, many times through state violence. And we are called to do something about that. So as this criminal is there, you have one that is accusing Jesus. If you are who you say you are, then not only help yourself, but help me. Let me point to one thing, a lack of accountability for that young man. And then you have the other criminal who then stands up for Jesus and says, in today's terms, are you crazy? Do you not even understand where we are, what is getting ready to happen to us, how we've been wrong, how we have done wrong, and we're here for a reason, but this man is here innocently, and you still have no grace for that. And then he looks at Jesus and asks Jesus to remember him. So as I said, the two criminals really stood out to me this time. And they really represent two groups of people even going on today. We have individuals who still don't want to be held accountable. And then we have those in society who are standing up for injustices. And so I ask, what side are you going to be on? What side of history will you be on? Where will your dash, your life, your legacy, where will you have that be represented? What are you willing to do? Who are you willing to speak up for? This criminal knew his fate, but yet and still ask Jesus to remember him. And because Jesus was going to the cross to sacrifice his life for every single one of us, He told him, truly, I tell you today that you will be with me in paradise. For me, that is the equivalent of when our time comes and hearing the Lord say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. What will your actions look like? Will you be able to hear those words when you stand before God? Will you be able to stand there and say that I stood up, that I stood for righteousness, that I stood for justice, that I was a voice for those who could not speak for themselves, that I was willing to speak truth to power? Will you be one of those individuals? Or will you be one that continues down the path of, of a lack of accountability? Which side will you be on? There are a lot of things going on today. It's not just police brutality. As Reverend Aaron said, there are so many injustices that are taking place today, and our voices are needed. Actually, our voices are required. Just as Jesus stood up for us, we have to be willing to stand up for each other. And when we are not doing that, we are not walking out the life of Jesus that was walked out before us, the example that was given before us, all the way to the cross. So will you be one that he will say, you will be with me in paradise? Or will you be one that have many excuses and none of them be enough because you did not stand up for justice? It is my prayer and my hope, if you are discouraged, to be encouraged and know that the sacrifice that Jesus gave, he gave for all of us to live in paradise with him. I know when my life is finished, I want to hear him say, good job, my faithful servant. So I encourage you to get in the fight wherever it is that you see fit, wherever your gift and your talent can be used. I pray that you will do that. I thank you for your time. God bless you, and happy resurrection to each and every one of us. The only thing, again, that is good about this day is that he did it, and he did it for each and every one of us. God bless you.